Hey, vinyl community, Jeff here, back again. And the topic of today's video is OG, the original press versus a reissue. Now, many of us, some people collect and they only want the OGs. Some people don't care, like myself, and they'll buy the reissued, repress, whatever. So, some people don't think that there's so many different views. Some people believe the original press, is going to be more authentic and sound better. Some people don't like being tinkered with remastering and stuff. I'll tell you, when it comes to my opinion, yeah, I'd love to have an OG of anything. Only because I feel like, especially on albums that came out during the album age in the 80s and early 90s or whatever, they're going to most likely be more analog than anything digital. Whereas a reissue today, unless it comes from the original master tapes, has a strong potential of being a digital transfer. So it's like putting a CD on the vinyl. A lot of times things are remastered for vinyl. Sometimes they were only available on digital, and they were remastered for vinyl, which is nice because that assumingly means that they mess with the sound waves to make them wider waves for the vinyl capacity. So what are your thoughts? Not so much do you prefer, but will you buy a reissue? For me, it's money. Original presses tend to be more costly a lot of times. Depends on the album. And reissues can be more costly, can be more affordable. But the downside, and it depends on how fast they are. So anyway, I only bring that up. Let me know below what you think. I definitely, I'm fine with either. If I can find an OG for a decent price, I'll buy it. Does that mean if I see a reissued, remastered edition, I won't buy that too? I try not to. Depends on the album. Sometimes it makes them better, sometimes it doesn't. But anyway, these that we're looking at today are going to be represses, reissues, remasters, whatever, not OGs. So I picked up the Slaughter Stick It To You, and this is the one that's on red vinyl. What's it? Somebody made a comment. I guess there's some Friday music. I guess there is. I haven't read that there's some issue. People think about it. I don't know. Sounds good. I never had the original. Don't think I can afford the original. The cover, as you could see, maybe it does look a little dark. So, is it a scan? Not the original artwork. That would probably drive Scott Waters crazy. Looks kind of blah. But anyway, I think it sounds great. So I'm fine with having this reissue. Picked that up. Found it online for a fairly good price. I've seen it online for outrageous costs as far as when it first came out. When did it come out? 2019, 2020, I think. Anyway, they were selling it for like $55 or whatever. So I held off, but then I finally found a copy. It was like $25. So I went ahead and grabbed that because I never had any of the Slaughter stuff on vinyl back in the day. Didn't have any of their stuff at that time. But Raven Wiped Out. Picked this up. I got this from Amazon. The price dropped to a reasonable amount. This is the Back on Black edition. There are other versions of this out there. There might even be a High Roller Records, which has all kinds of bonus stuff, or at least maybe that's the other one of their other albums. But, I've heard questionable stuff about Back on Black. Are they totally authorized? Are they funded by the band? As far, authorized by the band, licensed by the band. It got me questioning to the point where I almost lean away from buying the Back on Black, but when the price is right, I will pick one up. And it's this one looks good. The cover looks good. Everything about the package. They do a great job. I would say all the Back on Black that I have. This is a double record set, by the way. They do good on the packaging and the way they look and everything. So I've never had a problem with that. It's just a question of licensing maybe. And I've never had a problem with the sound issue. So anyway, I picked that up again. Just little hole fill. I've got a lot of holes to fill on the Raven collection. And believe it or not, I finally got a copy of the first Van Halen album. I've never heard this album before in my life. Anyway. Over the years, since getting back into buying vinyl records, I had picked up all the Van Halen, but this one I just never had gotten a copy of, and I kept saying, I need to get it, I need to get it, need to get it. This is the, what was it, 2014, I think, 18, whatever, the reissues. And I have most of the Van Halen stuff, either a couple of them are reissues and a couple of them are OGs. A couple of them are unofficial releases because of the whole, Sammy Years tough stuff. But this one, I started noticing, I'm looking at on Amazon, it's always in the $25 range. And then all of a sudden, it's up in the $35 range and higher. And I'm like, oh man, now it's hard to get. Saw a copy at, the Cracker Barrel, and it was $25, and I should have bought it, and I didn't. And then I found a copy along with the Slaughter. They had this for under $25, so I went ahead and grabbed that. These next two, not reissues because they were never on vinyl. Back in Action, Keel 6. It is the kind of the reunion album, 98. For the first time on vinyl. Night of the Vinyl Dead records. It's on blue. Italian company, hard to get their stuff because they're Italian, but Animated Insanity Records got some and let me know, and I'm grabbing them because he had them for a decent price based on how much they cost to get these records overseas. And they also, Night of the Vinyl Dead Records, also reissued Night Ranger 7 album. I hope they do some more because I love this era. I love everything Night Ranger, so. This was just, let me see, was this color? I was listening to this today. It's just black. You could tell the cover on this is probably just a scan. It's kind of got a blur to it. They do a good job. They have, package and everything, but I'm sure the cover art was probably just made for CD, and so they had to just work with what they had, and they blew it up. And again, I don't know, these type of reissues, albums that were never on vinyl that came from the late 90s and 2000s, is it a digital transfer? Is it true analog? Was it remastered for vinyl? Probably not. So now I have a vinyl edition of the CD, I guess. I'm not saying this is or isn't, but that's the feel. And, unless you're an audiophile, you may not even hear it or notice it. I'm happy to have it. Thought it was great, so went ahead and grabbed that. Anyway, just a few things there. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on this topic? And, do you always try to go OG? Do you care? I'm not really one to care as long as it sounds good. And I found some that don't always sound that great. But anyway, that's all for now. I'll be back. Thanks for watching. Rock on. Rock hard.